And that's when I realized when I am journaling, I am in my own space. I have no limitations. I am coming from the space that everything is possible. I don't limit myself to what my life is right now. I am always going for the delusional stuff. I love it.
The cherry, the cherry, the cherry. The cherry.
Hi guys, welcome back. Hi Nicolette.
Hello, everyone. We are back.
We're back.
We are so back.
So, during the episodes, we mentioned journaling a lot. So we thought that it would be appropriate and fun
Yeah.
to talk about journaling.
I think we should talk about journaling because it's so different than people think it is.
Yes.
Do you journal?
I do journal. It's not an everyday habit for me right now, but I was just thinking that everything that we're doing here today is also something that manifested from, didn't want to use manifest, but it came true from what I journal.
Journaling.
Yeah, so when I started journaling because of you, because I heard, honestly, I had some preconceptions about journaling. This Dear Diary type of journaling, which obviously what is something that we're not doing. You mentioned that you created a lot of things in your life that first appeared in your journal. And I thought,
Why
not? And one of the first things, so there were certain recurring themes that I started writing down. But one of the first things was I was still living back in Denmark. I didn't do much access or any access, actually. I was like, meeting Nicolette, going to Nicolette's class, having a podcast or hosting a podcast,
There you go.
living in Bali.
Wow.
So
Everything came true.
everything came true.
Wow.
So it is a very powerful tool.
Yes, it is.
into
I
your
think
life.
so. I don't think it works for everyone, but I think it's something that you practice. It can become a space where you can be you. For me, I'm not journaling about the past. Sometimes, like really, for example, when I had a breakup 2 years ago, I was journaling a lot because I needed to get out of me. And at the time, I didn't trust anyone because my trust was gone because of the way how the breakup came to, the relationship came to an end. And I was like, I don't trust anyone. I'm not going to tell anything to anyone. And when I did, I felt guilty in a way that I knew I should not say anything to people. And so I started to journal about that most of the time. But back to what you said, I'm not journaling every day. It's a ritual for me. And I don't blame myself. Sometimes I do every single day. I create some space, especially when I'm traveling, when I am not really working. But I need a space for that. So for me, sitting down at home journaling, that's not really, it's not working for me. I usually get out of the house and I go to a coffee shop. I have some favorite places and I put in some good music, get a nice iced cappuccino, and and I start journaling. And it's my way to get in touch with my future. That's what I do. I love it. I think it's amazing.
And also, may I just say that it ties so nicely into our previous topic about letting your life speak to you, and you mentioning that you need to create space for your life to be able to speak to you, which you can do via journaling.
Yeah. Can you imagine? So for me, journaling is, I assume that no one reads my journal. So I can say whatever. I can be so out of reality. I can be so delusional as much as I want. I can say, hey, I want to create 3 billion forints in the next year or this year or whatever. I would say this to some people. They would be like, what the fuck? Like, wake up, babe. And it's just for me. And I don't have to have reason and justification for whatever I'm asking for. So sometimes when I sit down, there is nothing come to me. I just sit there. Sometimes I just go to a coffee shop, put my journal, and I just sit. Sometimes I write a lot. I'm like, a couple of months ago, I went to Vienna, and I was at breakfast. I was in a really nice 5-star hotel. It was amazing. I loved it. And I was at breakfast, and this lady and her husband were sitting right next to me. And she turned to me after a couple of minutes, I don't know, 25 minutes, and she asked me, "Hey, are you a writer?" And I'm like, "I'm not really, but I am book author." She's like, "I could tell. You are so not here. Like you have this bubble around you and you are somewhere else. Like you're here, your body's here, but you're somewhere else." And I had a great conversation with them. It was amazing. And that's when I realized when I am journaling, I am in my own space. I have no limitations. I am coming from the space that everything is possible. I don't limit myself to what my life is right now. I am always going for the delusional stuff. I love it. And I think we should be delusional because what doesn't make sense today, what feels so far away, that one day will be your present. For example, what you said, that everything you were asking for is just your present right now. It's what's happening to you. And also, I just told you in the other episode, I have my journals at the attic in a box. I have to share this also. I had no money to buy a fucking notebook back in 2019 when I got a divorce and moved back. And I was working in a hair school, and on the morning, they had a class about the main part of becoming a hairdresser. And then when we were done with that class, then we had the practice. So basically, they were sitting in class, writing down what we were saying. And we had these boxes in the back of the classroom where we were collecting stuff that, students were just leaving all around, like, I don't know, tools for hairdressing, and also the notebooks they were using. And we had 2 boxes, one for the stuff we just found. And when no one showed up and asked for it for a couple of months, we would put it into a next box. And in that box, we had a bunch of notebooks from kids. They were writing, I don't know, 5 pages or something like that. And I needed to journal, but I had no money to buy a notebook. And I told my colleague, I'm like, "Hey, there is this box. This is full of notebooks. I need to write, but I have no money to buy a nice notebook. So can I just steal some?" And she's like, "Of course." So I teared out all the pages that the students were just writing in. And I had this, and it's just so funny. I went to the attic and I find these 5 or 6 notebooks, but I was writing so much, but the first, I don't know, 5 to 10 pages were missing because of that. And I always find a way because it's just so interesting. Before I came back from San Francisco, I was on the day that my ex-husband and I, let's say we agreed on me coming back to Hungary instead of trying to save this marriage. On the same day, I was in one of my friends' stores. She was a jewelry designer in San Francisco. And I was working for her sometimes, like, part-time. And she let me use her computer in the store. And I opened my Gmail. And in the drive, I started a new document. And I was asking myself, okay, if my life could be anything, if I can have anything, what do I want my life be like in like 5, 10, 100 years from now? I like to use this tool. This is from Access Consciousness because it helps you to get out of your head of using time as a limitation, because when you have a goal for like 6 months, people get anxious about it because like, oh, 2 months passed, nothing happened. Okay, it's like too close. Oh, whatever. I have 1 month left to create it. And when you go for like 5 years from now, 10 years, 100 years, it doesn't make sense to your brain because, oh my God, I'm 40. I'm not going to be here in 100 years. Yeah, but it gives you some space. And this is what we want. The whole point is about having some space. And so I was asking myself, and I said some silly things like, oh, I want a new MacBook and I want a new iPhone, whatever. And then I said, I want to travel the world. I want to be able to go to these amazing classes where I can change my life. And I want to become a facilitator of change. and I want to be able to travel. And I've ended my shift. I was driving home, and this is when my ex-husband was waiting for me, and he was not happy. And he was like, I think we should just break this up. You should go home tomorrow morning. So I left the next morning at 6, and I was devastated. I was broken. Like I don't remember the way how I came home, but I needed to change planes 2 times on the way home, and I just don't remember which city I was flying into. Like what the happened to me. And for the next 6 months, I was so broken. And one time I opened that document. I was like, I was writing something on the day when this breakup happened. And I went there, I read the whole thing, and I realized, oh my God, the universe is fast. I was just asking for this, I don't know, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. that it was, the breakup. And, when you ask for things, it doesn't look the way you think it will. And I was asking for this lifestyle, but honestly, in the marriage, it just wouldn't work. So I needed to have this experience of the breakup, coming back here, start my life from zero, from scratch, and create the life that I was always asking for. And when I realized that, I was okay with whatever happened, and I could forgive to myself also what I was being and doing in the relationship, and also for my ex-husband. And since then, we're good, we're friends. And it's amazing. When you sit down and you ask yourself questions and you give some space and then you write down whatever comes to you, it's one of the ways that you can get in touch with your future, or the energy of the future that you want to create. And I think it's amazing. Sometimes I just sit down and I ask questions and I don't really say anything, just write down the questions like, hey, like for example, just recently, my favorite question is, what would be fun? What would be fun for me to create? Whenever I write this down, I don't get an answer. Like, what would be fun? I'm just being. When you ask a question, you're not looking for maybe another podcast episode we could talk about asking a question. And because many people are looking for an answer, but that's not the goal. So journaling is you write down your question and you ponder and wonder, and you're not looking for the answer. You just look for awareness. And sometimes when you're journaling, you write down your questions. The awareness is not there right away. You need some space and some time sometimes. So, and that's when we get so frustrated because we want everything right now. We want to know everything right now. I want more intro. But journaling is more about opening yourself up to all the possibilities that are available for you. So I really use journaling as manifestation kind of, or actualization.
I just came to, like, now that we are talking about it, I just realized so many things. Also, the way so to begin with, you said that you don't have to journal every day.
Yeah, no.
Like, journaling is also something that you make your own, right?
Yes.
I had this preconception about, I may or may not have a point of view about how you're supposed to journal. I remember when I started journaling, I asked some questions as well. And then one day I would get an answer. And then the other day I would get a different answer. Or maybe even the same day I would be like, I want to live here. Actually, I want to live here.
Yeah, maybe you want to live everywhere. That's what will work for you, So here's the thing, and I think it's really important. So when you ask a question, but we can go deeper in another episode, but when you ask a question, the goal is to get some sense of an awareness about the question. And so every awareness is good for 10 seconds only. So many people get aware that, oh my God, I want to live in Italy and I want to quit my job and I go to Tuscany and whatever. Yeah, now this is what you want. And you go along, you create your life. Maybe you start to create the possibility that you can move to Italy, but you have to ask yourself a question. I still do want to move to Italy. That's what I want. And maybe you get a yes, maybe you get a no. Because that's what I see with creating our lives is we decide things. We decided that whatever, I want to live in Bali, or I want to live in I guess we had the same conversation that you moved to Bali and then it wasn't working for you anymore, but you stick to the plan.
Yeah.
You try to force that into reality, and that was right. That was it. Something like that.
I think that was in the Hungarian one when I came back. I may or may not be right about this, but it was a conclude or like
No. I mean, we had the once you sent me a message. It's
Oh,
like,
yes,
can
yes,
you
in
ask me a
Bali.
question?
Yes.
When you were in Bali.
Yes, in
I'm
Bali.
not. I'm not. Is it right that was in you, like the confusion that you wanted to stay, but then it wasn't working anymore, something like that?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah, because I'm asking only because am I right? No, I
Yes.
can't remember. It was a long time ago, but that's what we do, right? We decide, oh, I'm going to be in this relationship, and that's the thing. We decided we are going to be in this relationship, and that's what breaks everything. It's not a choice it's not a choice every day. And so when you have this pure choice, so every day you choose something. I am in Bali. Do I want to stay here? Today is a yes. Okay, good. Next day, still want to be in Bali? Yes. Okay, good. And then maybe it's going to be 6 months, 3 months, 6 years, maybe forever. It's just has to be a constant state of awareness. It should come from awareness, because if your choice not coming from an awareness, it comes from a conclusion or a decision. That's because every decision is solid. You made the decision, and then that was it. That's one possibility. When you are creating from choice, then you every day it's a different kind of energy and creation, because you create your life from a choice you make every single day or every 10 seconds or whatever works for you. And I think that's frustrating for us even in relationships, because we decided we're going to be with this person, this is the best person, and I'm not going to find a person like this, but you something changed and you don't know what it is. And what changed is maybe it's not you don't want that to be your choice anymore. It's not what you want to choose anymore. And that's when we are like fighting against everything that's true for us. Yeah, it's when you start to create your life from choice, it's a different game, for sure. And people will come by and will judge you, for sure, because how dare you choosing something else? Like, everyone wants to understand your choice, but they can't. It's not. It's no one can understand your choice. And I think also there is the other side of it. When you stop wanting to understand people's choices because it doesn't make sense to you, you're free. You're f***ing free, because you don't give a f*** anymore. Like, okay, you chose that, good for you. Bye. Or I'm here, I'm contributing to you, anything you choose, and then you don't want to control people and tell them what would be the best for them. When I did realize this along the way here, my friendships are amazing, because my friends knows I never judge them. I'm here for them, anything they choose, and it's their life. Who am I telling them, hey, I don't think that's a good choice? And it's freedom. And it gives you the biggest freedom. You don't have to, how much people worry about what people choose, like why they choose that. And they want to understand. And that's the worst thing that you can do to yourself when you try to understand other people. It's not possible, because it's a different being, something. And also what came to my mind during this conversation is that we try to tell people, and sometimes people just have to hit the rock bottom, because when they hit it, they can start from
Raised from the ashes.
something like that. And so many friends told me, oh, don't get married, or don't do this, or don't go there, or don't blah blah. I needed those things. I wouldn't be this person. And things are not good or bad. Things are just things. And when we start judging them, you see, when you look back, for even something bad happened to you, you're like, that was a miracle. That was a blessing. And I was judging it so much. But without it, I wouldn't be where I am today. And it's just all freedom. And I think that's what we want in life, right? Being free. And we think we're going to have the money. We're going to have the man. We're going to have the Birkin. We're going to have the whatever. We're going to be like super free. You can have the fucking Birkin and the most beautiful car. You can fly private jets. You're not going to be free. You want your freedom. It's a different space. And when you're free, then you can create the Birkin and the whatever car you want. But it's actually the other way around that we think. And going back to journaling, I think that's the best thing about it, because so for me, for example, I know two places where I can be truly myself is when I'm journaling or when I am doing my audios every day for the Brilliant membership, the Hungarian membership, because it's just me. I don't think. That's amazing. So we have this Hungarian version of journaling. I brought it only because it's only in Hungarian, so sorry guys. But it's so amazing because like this journal is about taking you through 6 process basically, and every process goes through that gives some space, ask for things, create something, acknowledge yourself, and be grateful and releasing. And then the end of every process, you can just journal about whatever you want. And then there is a next process, and it's about all these things, because I realized this is what we need for creation, is giving yourself space, ask for things, right? The Bible said, you ask and you shall receive. Creation, because we are creative being. Like people used to say, we are OCD, but I don't think we are. I think we are OCC. It's like obsessive compulsive creators. And when we are not creating, it's like a shark. If it's not, swimming, it dies. I think it's true for us. When you stop, creating, you die. That's when people, retire and they have no purpose. They are not creating anymore. And then they die in like a year or 2. It's so sad. So if they would have this journal, they should not die.
They would keep creating.
They would keep creating. And the other thing is, which I like, is acknowledging, because many people don't acknowledge themselves and their creations. But if you want, we can go through both, like all of them. And then some gratitude as well, and then some releasing. And if you go through these processes in your life, there is nothing you cannot create. That's my idea about, creating your life. So that's why we created this journal, so it helps. And also the back of the book, we have a whole section for your ideas, because I really believe that ideas comes to you. And many people, they just forget about them, never write them down, and then they think, oh, I had a good idea, I can't remember what it was. And so when you start collecting your ideas, you can come back to them and ask them like, hey, idea, is it for now or for the future? And if something pings, you can start creating it. And then it's just people don't know. So I don't know, where should we go from here? Do you want to go through all of them?
Do you have some favorite maybe questions or like that are most relevant to you right now, either from the journal or that you're using or you've been using recently?
My favorite question recently is, if I know I couldn't fail, what would I choose? I love that question, because we have this fear of failing or not getting it right. And, people are just people. Like also with me, so many people hates me because I'm successful and I'm just not stopping myself. And they hope for me stopping myself, but I'm not. And maybe I stop myself for a day or 2 and I get sad, like how f***ing crazy people are sometimes. But I'm like, okay, I get stronger and I move on. And, they think they can destroy you, but no one can. You have all the power. And those people who try to destroy you, it's only because they have a point of view. They're never going to be the great that you are. And so why would I stop myself for someone like that? And because of that, and I get a lot of hate sometimes, I love this question. It's like, okay, if I knew I couldn't fail, or I wouldn't fail, what would I choose now? And I'm like, it, I would go. I would go for more. It's amazing. It's my favorite question, actually, at all times. I really love it. Well, I mean, it's in that top 10, for sure. Yeah. For sure. So do you want me to go through a little bit?
Yes, I think that would be.
Yeah. I'm not going to be like long with these, but just a couple, ideas. So the first in every process is about giving yourself some space. So you can also, I don't know, either ask yourself a couple questions like, what would give me some space? How could I create some space for myself? Like, what is true for me? For example, last week was super busy. Like, I'm not kidding. Some mornings I woke up 4:20. I had to get out of the house by 5 because I was going paddling on the Danube. You don't want it to be too warm, so you have to be there around like 5:30. So we left like 6 on the boat. And then from there I came home, I washed my hair, and I was running to the next meeting, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And every evening I had a workshop, a Facebook Live or Insta Live or something. And that was my whole week. And around like midweek, I think Wednesday, I went to the office and I was complaining the whole time. I was like, I fucking hate this. I hate this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. I'm and but at like 1 or 2 p.m., I told to the guys, I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not being an example for you right now. I'm like not being an inspiration. And Kitty was like, yeah, I really wanted to ask you, what's going on with you? You're not being yourself. I'm like, no, shut up. Don't say that. I'm actually being myself. You know why? Because this is not my reality. That's not me anymore. That's not me that 5 days in a row I have to be available. Everyone calls me. I have all these appointments, bank, all this stuff. I'm like, no, someone else should do this, not me. And it was amazing because I saw how much my universe shrinked because I didn't have space. And I realized I love my days. And I'm not going to lie about this. I love my days when I don't have to set up an alarm. I do whatever I want until 12. No one calls me. No one reach out to me. I can just be in my space, do my audio, being creative and blah, blah. And then around like midday, okay, I get my lunch. And then the afternoon, who wants to talk to me, what I have to get done with the team. And then on the evening, I always have something. So until like 8, 9 p.m., right? You been with me on the book club. We were up until like 9:30. So I need some creative space because that's how the business is being created. So you have to give yourself some space. So sometimes in this area, I would ask myself, what should I stop doing that I'm still doing that would give me the space I need for my creation? Or what is the space I'm not allowing myself because I have a point of view I need to be on all the time? Go.
It just came to my mind that I actually loved living in Bali or in Asia because I was working on the European time zone. So when I woke up, I had so much space. No one was awake. I could do my thing. And then like my colleagues or the people I work with, they would wake up much, much later.
You know, this is so funny that you said that because I was living in Mexico City and it was the opposite, right? It was back 7 hours.
Yeah.
But it was amazing because I woke up, I didn't look at my phone until 8. My team knew, we had this 2-hour window that we could work. And I had my workshop, which is in Central European time, 7 p.m. But I had it like 12, lunchtime. I did my workshop and then I was free because everyone was sleeping. It was one of the best times of my life because I was creative. On the afternoon, I was so many ideas. I went to journal somewhere. I was getting a nice coffee. Walking around Mexico City was perfect. I think we have to start a 4-hour work week. Just Tim Ferriss said. I think it's great. I think that's what would work for you the best when you, especially as an entrepreneur, just always being busy. But of course, I don't like when you start, you do a lot and you put effort. But in like, if you are not useless in 3 or 4 years, you're not doing something great. So you have to be. And that was my goal, being useless in my business as much as I can. I mean, I am the brand, but I try to be useless as I can. You have to let go of your control, though. And it's not easy, I know. Because you have a point of view, you know everything the best.
We may or may not want to talk about control at some point.
It was so funny to talk about control right now because when we arrived, I told everyone they should put this small thing underneath the glasses, and I was like checking everyone, controlling. No, I'm kidding. And now saying I'm not controlling, it's funny. Okay, so ask for things. So why am I talking about asking for things? Because people don't ask for things. They never say, "Hey universe, can I have some money, please? Hey universe, can I have some fun today, please? Hey universe, can I ask for, I don't know, XYZ, a red bicycle or something silly or whatever? Can I just ask for some nurturing time with someone or some kindness or something that I can be grateful for?" So it doesn't have to be something huge. It's just you start, because I don't know what about you. I had this experience when I think I was 3 years old or 4. We were living in a village and we were coming to Budapest a couple of times for a thing, and we were on the train and there was this richer family, you can tell, right next to us. We were in one box and they were in another box. And this lady had this candy in this aluminum box. It was like really colorful, really nice. And she was giving it to her children. And she saw me watching her. And she asked me, like, "Do you want one?" And my mom was like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Yeah, get one." And my mom was so upset. She's like, "Don't do that. Like, how dare you?" And I was looking at her. And when we were getting out of the train, she came to me and she gave me the whole box. I'm not kidding. We were so poor. I kept the f***ing box. I was putting, bugs in it, like small stones and like treasures. And I had it until I was 14. And then I was moving and I lost it. That was my treasure box. And that was something that, like, richness or being rich meant to me. That box was showing me that it's possible, so funny. And any time in any situation my parents would tell me, like, "No, don't take it, don't do it." And I fucking hated it. I was like, "Why? They want to give it to me, I can receive it." And we stop asking for things also, because when even someone offers you something, you were told, don't take it. No. And anytime I was asking my parents for money or anything, I was always told, "We don't have the money for it. We can't afford it." And at some point, I stopped asking for things. And when I first, heard about the idea, just start asking for anything. Ask the universe, "Hey, universe, can I have some fun today, please? Can I have some, I don't know, a nice coffee today or whatever?" And just watch. And that's why I told you at the beginning that you ask and you shall receive. You never know. And I think the journaling should be about asking for things. Sometimes I write down, okay, what am I asking for now? And I write down everything, like income, profit, a new team member, something small, something that excites me. So, and I think we should ask for more. But we are so stupid. We are not asking for enough,
That's how I journal the most, actually. I just
That you are asking for things.
Yeah, I just
It's
ask, like,
amazing,
can
see?
I have, and then just write down all these
I love
whatever
it.
comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my journal is like, you just open it up and then
It's a shop.
it's a shop, and it's a shop of endless possibilities.
Yes.
That you can have a giraffe if you want.
Oh, yes, of course.
Or-
Michael Jackson had one.
Yeah, of course. Like, okay, now I know how the giraffe idea came.
Can you imagine they moved into Encino, California, to a neighborhood where were no black people, and this dude had a f***ing giraffe walking in the backyard? Can you imagine how people would be like, "What the f*** is going on in here?" I love him. He's so amazing.
Dare to be different.
So ask for a giraffe. Well, you just need something really tall to feed them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing.
I'll just ask for something tall to feed them.
Maybe you should ask for something tall that you can feed the giraffe and then ask for the giraffe. Exactly. But I actually talked to a lady and she was old in her point of view. And she thought she was done with life, basically, that the fun part is over. She was 65, which is nowadays, I don't think it's old. And I don't think 90 is old. I see women, they look amazing, they do Pilates and stuff. So it's just, time has changed. And this lady was like, she came from that space. And I was like, ask for whatever. And she was asking for, I don't know, swimming with dolphins. And then she got it. She did it. And it was just amazing to see. So you can ask for whatever you want. Maybe a really good deep hug today. You need a good hug. Or maybe you can ask, can I ask you, universe, please just bring something into my life who would appreciate me or maybe just see me, who I am. How cool is that? And then on the side, you can ask for a giraffe if you want.
I will ask for a giraffe.
Exactly. That's so funny. So yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. It's a creation. So many of us put someone else into the source of the creation. Like, for example, I always had the point of view that I need a rich man in order to have my dream life, because that's what I heard from my parents, from my teachers. And because of that, I stopped putting myself as the source for stuff. And when I started to change that, it changed my whole life. So in this area, I would definitely talk about if I would be the source of my creation, what do I want to create? What would be fun for me? Where I do want my life be like in 5 to 10 years, and just ask about the part of your life as a creation, because as I told you, I really do believe we are creative beings and we are OCCs, obsessive compulsive creators. And when we are not creating, it's when we start dying and we don't have the purpose in our lives. And even you can create a garden, you can create a new home. Like, for example, this is my home, right? It's where we are right now. And it's been a constant state of creation. I changed things. Last time you guys been here was different. Like Akos knows. Even we have a Hungarian podcast studio in the office. We always have something different. I'm bored if everything is the same. So I like to, try new stuff. And so for me, like, my home is a creation. I love beauty. I love things that nurtures you, even if it's a glass or it's an ice. Like when you guys came here today, I was preparing since yesterday. I was ordering stuff, snacks, food. I realized last time you didn't bring food, so I kind of had more stuff. So if you're going to be hungry, it's just, I love this. It's creation for me. I love when people feel seen or appreciated, or just, when they feel like I care. It's a creation for me. And what is creation for you? What would be fun for you? What you like to do? I'm a mamma, Italian mamma. Buongiorno.
I think it's great that you mention it, because I think when you say creation, my mind would go to some amount of money, or a new boyfriend, or partner, or a new job, or client, or whatever, like very specific things. But actually creation can be anything.
Of course. Like, I just started to create. I have a patio outside, and there's a big bush, so you don't see it. But behind it, I have this big, massive stuff for flowers. I don't know how you call them. You can plant flowers in it.
Yes.
Like some boxes, basically.
Yes.
Anyway, so I had 3 boxes empty, and I honestly didn't know what I want to put in them. All the other one, I have some mints and stuff. It's so funny. I knew something will be there, so I left them empty. And I have a driver, Peter, who drives me everywhere when I can drive, or when I'm busy, and so I can work from the car, and then he just drives me to one appointment to another one. And last week was really crazy, and he was driving me around, and we are friends now, right? I go with him everywhere. And he's like, you don't want some tomato plant? And I'm like, yeah, I want. He's like, oh, we have this Marzano and all these special tomatoes. I'm like, oh my God, yes. So bring it. He brought it to me. I planned them. And then a week after, he's like, don't you want some like herbs and stuff? Because we have so much at home. So next time he came to pick me up, he brought me a bunch of herbs. So it's like, I have a whole herbs garden, and I love it every night. when it's not too hot, I go outside and I water them, and just that's one of the creations. And that's right. What you said is people think creation is just creating money and your business, and you have to, I don't know, creation is putting something on social or creating a video. For me is everything, making some food or, whatever you like to do. And when you are, let's say, busy with your life, but not busyness, busy, but you're always in creation of something, it's a game changer. It's amazing. So what would be fun for you to create? Sometimes some people like to, dress up and create something with the outfit they wear. That's not a thing for me because I just get anxious from what should I wear. So that's not my thing. But like hosting people, that's my thing. I love hosting. It's my superpower. And I think it's a gifting and receiving because, I think about people who come by, even if it's a dinner, I know what they like and I put on their plates whatever they like, and they're like, wow, how do you know that? I'm like, I'm listening. And then it's a gift for me because they receive it, they are happy for it, and then I'm so happy because, so it's just like an amazing thing. So that can be a creation. Next, let's go to the next. Okay, so next is acknowledging in the process. And I love this topic because I don't know what about you, but so many times we create so much. Like, for example, you went to your journal, you read it from a couple years ago, and you're like, oh, I want to do a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then people don't acknowledge that they already created what they wanted, because when you acknowledge, you start actualize stuff in your life. Like, for example, I was a hairdresser. I had a salon, and I started the salon with my ex-boyfriend and his best friend. And they were owning the place, but I was running the salon. I was the manager, basically, and kind of the third business owner. And after 6 months or so, I was standing there and then, like, I don't know, try to make some order in my workstation. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was working with me. She had another workstation. And I said, hey, Monica, I really would like to have my own salon one day. That would be so amazing. And she looks at me, she's like, what the are you talking about? This is your own salon? I'm like, no, this is not mine. Why? Because in my head, my own salon meant I am owning the place. I am the only one. I do whatever I want. I can change stuff. And I had so many ideas. How would I create my own salon? So because of that, it didn't look the way I thought it would. I couldn't acknowledge that I already created. So I was constantly working on creating something that it was already created. And when I acknowledge, oh my God, I have my own salon. So what else what I want to create from here? What I would like to add to my life? And that's why you have to sit down. I really like to sit down every single year, at least once a year, the end of the year, sit down and acknowledge what I have achieved, what I have created. Because then the next year will start from a very new page. I'm not stuck in the loop of creating something that is already being created, basically.
I did that a lot, actually.
Right?
And now I realize that I need to look at it a little bit differently. I need to, because for a very long time I wrote something and that something was written on the paper, but also an image was attached to it, how it's going to happen. And I was not able or willing to acknowledge it, that it happened. I didn't notice it happened. There were so many things I created that I didn't notice because they did not show up the way even my whole, my company, I did not notice, because I have a big client and it's a little bit like an employer kind of relationship. It didn't occur to me that I actually journaled about having a company and having a client that pays me this amount of money, for example. Up until I went through my list again and I was like, but actually, I did this. It just not in the way that I thought I would.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I said it's you have to sit down over time and look at the things you have created, because that will give you an expansion. Because if you don't acknowledge it, you are still in the loop. You try to create it, but it's already being created. So there is nothing to create. you have to outcreate that basically. That's
Yeah.
where you want to go.
I feel like it's the dog that's chasing its tail. Like that's
Really?
because,
That's a good example,
isn't
actually.
it?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to do it, but you've already done it, but you're trying to do it. I think it's like kind of like how do you say that? Like a stepping stone or kind of like a platform. You acknowledge it, right? And
Yes.
then you're able to go even higher or
Outcreate it.
outcreate it. Yeah.
Do you remember? I don't know how they call that thing in elementary school. We had like this sport class every week, and we had these big boxes, and you run and you step on this, and then you jump through the thing. I think that thing that you step on, I'm not sure what it is. It's basically that step that you do when you acknowledge, because then you can fly from there or outcreate that, thing. I love what András, he used to tell me, if you want a bigger life, you have to have bigger choices, but you cannot have bigger choices until you actually acknowledge what you have created. And it was a funny story in Access, because they always say that when you acknowledge something, you actualize. Then that's how you actualize. And the lady said, acknowledging. She was Italian, I guess. And she said that, oh yeah, I was acknowledging. And everyone is like, there is no word like actual acknowledging. She's like, yeah, but I am acknowledging myself. And then they came to the conclusion, oh my God, you tried to put two words together, actually acknowledging and actualizing. And so when you acknowledge something about you, your life, your creation, then you can actualize more. So I think this is really important. And many people don't acknowledge themselves and their creations, and that's what keeps them stuck. Okay, gratitude. I don't think we should talk about this too much because everyone knows it. You can go and say whatever. What are you grateful for? That's it. And then the last one is, it's a little bit of, releasing. It's you can just sit down and ask. So, like for example, in this process, there is this question: what are the things which you would let go of, everything would change? And I think it's a great question, because we are so attached to things and people and situations and stuff. And how many times, especially in my company's life, I had some people, I knew I want to get rid of them because the energy that they were being was not contributing anymore. And I had the point of view that, I don't know, without them, it would be a big mess or blah, blah. And honestly, after so many years of being in business, I realized it's not true. It's actually the opposite. When you get rid of someone whose energy is not contributing, everything changes. And then the new people can show up. So many times I was asking myself this question: what would be the one thing, if I would let go of, everything would change? And I'm like, oh my God, that's uncomfortable. But then you get some awareness when you ask this question, And even though you are not ready for making the choice, but you at least have some awareness that would be the thing that would change everything, And oh man, if I would trust myself, like, I want to kick myself on my face right now. If I would trust myself more in the past couple of years, I would be so far away from where I am at now, because I'm really good at sensing people, situations, and these red flags are, man, they're f***ing there at the very beginning. And I'm like, nah, I need this person, I need this, I need that. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm just paranoid. No. And what? The end, that was the thing, and that was the person that I should get rid of right at the very beginning. But I'm smarter now, so there you go. So these are my processes of journaling, and as I said, I really encourage everyone to have a space in the journal where you collect your ideas and you come back to them over time, because sometimes it's not time for the idea to start, And sometimes what I had at the past, I had an idea, it was not time. I would come back over time, and then one day it was a time. Okay. And I was like, okay, what is the smallest thing I can do for this idea today? And I would do that. And I would come back the next day and I would ask the same question. And sometimes, you bring your creation until a point, and there is no energy, nothing, nothing, nothing. So you just let it be. You go, you do other things, and then you still keep coming back to the idea. And then maybe after 2 weeks, there is another door opening for you, other possibility, and then you start doing something, and that's what we call following the energy. So if you have ideas and you don't get that you should start them, it's not an issue. And when you start something and the energy is gone, it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. It means it's gone today. So you should come back over time. And that's why I really encourage everyone. And we were talking about Michael Jackson. I don't know if you watched the Michael movie.
Yes.
You did?
I did.
Okay,
After
good.
you mentioned it.
What did he say? He said he was always saying that he was collecting his ideas, and then if even an idea, a hook, or any melody came to his head, he called everyone at 3 a.m. and he went to the studio, and people were asking like, "Hey, Michael, like, dude, just sleep," and he's like, "No, no, 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 no. This melody just came to me. We should work on it. Otherwise, it's gonna go to Prince." How smart, And that's the same thing with your ideas. So if you pay attention to them, they come to you for a purpose. So you are able to create them. That's not a question. The question is, like, what's the way? And if you figure that out, then you're good.
Amazing.
You love journaling even more now, don't you?
I love journaling. even more. Always love journaling. But
That's great. Thank you.
thank you. This was amazing.
Yes.
Great. Thank
See,
you so much.
I knew a little bit gonna be long, but I was like, we should go through this because it gives people a sense of how amazing journaling actually is. It's not about dear journal. Oh my God, this person said that and this and da. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Don't worry about that. Just write about the future. Ask what you want to create. You are an OCC, obsessive compulsive creator. Fucking go and create. That's a good
That's a good way.
That's a good
Let's
way
end it on this note.
yeah, let's go with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you in 2 weeks.